Another government shutdown looms as deadline approaches. With just days remaining before the federal funding deadline, Washington is once again bracing for the possibility of a government shutdown.
As a government shutdown looms in Washington, President Donald Trump now set to meet with top congressional leaders tomorrow, just one day before the deadline to fund the government.
The latest standoff highlights the deep divisions between President Donald Trump and Democratic leaders, with negotiations showing little sign of progress. The planned bipartisan gathering, expected to take place this week, comes on the heels of President Trump abruptly canceling a scheduled meeting with Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Trump cited what he called unserious and ridiculous demands from Democrats as the reason for walking away. The impasse leaves lawmakers with limited time to strike a deal and avert a shutdown that would have far-reaching consequences across the country. If an agreement is not reached, hundreds of thousands of federal employees will bear the immediate brunt. Workers deemed essential will continue their duties without pay, while non-essential employees will face furloughs. Though federal law guarantees back pay once the government reopens, the disruption to families who rely on steady paychecks is significant. For many, the uncertainty of when or if a deal will be struck is as damaging as the financial strain itself. The U.S. has faced government shutdowns before, but history offers only partial comfort. Since 1980, there have been 14 shutdowns, most of them relatively short-lived. However, the memory of the longest one in history still lingers. That shutdown, which stretched 34 days from late 2018 into early 2019, disrupted air travel, delayed critical services, and left many Americans questioning the ability of leaders to govern effectively. Analysts warn that another prolonged closure could be even more damaging, especially given today's fragile economic climate. Beyond the financial hardships for federal workers, a shutdown ripples across nearly every sector of society. National parks and museums often close, business owners lose contracts and revenue, and routine government functions, from food inspections to housing assistance, slow or stall altogether. Political analysts also caution that the longer the government remains shuttered, the higher the political costs for both parties. At the heart of the standoff is not just a spending bill, but the broader question of how government should function in an era of sharp polarization. President Trump has framed the current negotiations as a test of democratic seriousness.
The Democrats want to shut it down. If it has to shut down, it'll have to shut down. But they're the ones that are shutting down.
While Democrats accuse the White House of brinkmanship that puts workers and families at risk. For ordinary Americans, however, the partisan blame game matters far less than the practical consequences. Each day without resolution adds to the sense of instability. With the deadline drawing near, the pressure is mounting on both sides to find common ground before millions are caught in the fallout. Whether leaders can put aside political battles long enough to keep the government open remains uncertain. What is certain is that the stakes, economic,